Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum. What is up, y'all? Philly Fly Show checking in here, kicking it at Right Way Production Studios, and we are back. Little new update on my little videos here and everything. Totally upgraded my phone to the Samsung Galaxy Fold 7, so I'd like to know a little input on how the video looks between you, everybody. I'm not on an older phone anymore. I finally got an up-to-date phone. Super happy. Almost didn't get this podcast out because of it, though. I was having a little bit of technical difficulties just putting stuff up. It was not working to my advantage. We'll say that. So we'll see how this goes. I'm just going to have this recorded, ready. If it doesn't come out, maybe I'll just throw out my picks. UFC Fight Night Stevie Garcia versus David Onama was a fire event with one of the most upsetting. I don't even know how to put this in the words, guys. We had some messed up stuff happen on Saturday, and the story has just snowballed into a very not so great story for us. Yeah, I'm just going to get into it. I just want to shout out Steve Garcia because he had an amazing showing for his main event, and I just really liked his skill set. I really liked a lot of the fights on here until we got to this is a fight we're gonna jump into this quickly and jump out of it quickly. There's not much to say because there's not a great ton of information. Isaac Dalgarian versus Yadir Del Vahale was a it was a rigged fight. Like, there's no way to doubt it. Bulgarian was piecing up Yadir, and it was nasty. Like, he showed that he actually had skill set, and then all of a sudden he just conveniently got taken down and submitted. What happened was what first red flag went off was there's a $16 million bet at the Hard Rock Cafe in Florida. If I can't, I might have the state wrong, but I'm almost 1,000% sure that I'm right. It was Hard Rock in Florida, but that was just one bet. They had they don't have a number out, but they have let's just say it's a really high number beyond the 16 million bets. Amount of money on Bulgarian to lose, most of them by submission. How in the Not only that, though, this is where the story gets out of hand and why I'm not going to input any more time into this because I don't have a lot of information. But there was over 100 fights flagged by the FBI to the UFC. We're going to see a lot of guys released. We're going to see a lot of people that we really respect that threw a fight. And it's not going to be this is not going to be a happy ending, guys. Betting comes with integrity, and for us to put in bets and be a part of this, we need our fighters, players, people in sports to have integrity because we're putting our money on the line here, and it is very upsetting. Even for me, I didn't put a parlay down, but I had Bulgarian on a daily UFC. That sucks because he threw the fight, and that threw off my whole money shot at money. I'm not so mad because it was only like a $3 to $5 daily fantasy. But what about these people that maybe put a couple $100, $500 on a nice parlay, and that damn Bulgarian did that? That's where the thing comes down to. That's very frustrating, and it downright ticks me off, and it should tick a lot of you off. Not saying don't bet the UFC because there is money to be made in these fights, especially on this next card that we're going to jump into. But my last thought is just watch how this is going to play out in the next year. It's a big story. It needs a little more information out before I get a bigger opinion on it. But that's all I'm going to say. And we're going to jump in here. We got UFC Fight now. Gabriel Bonfim versus Randy Brown. Good fight. Glad they got this one put together. It kind of was supposed to be Wonder Boy in there, but Wonder Boy couldn't sign the contract, we'll say. He just didn't want to sign the contract. So we got Gabriel Bonfim and Randy Brown instead. The Bonfim twins are fighting. There's another Bonfim brother. He is fighting in match like number 4. We'll get into it. Let's just jump right into it since we went and talked about this BS thing and the bull BS betting scandal. Match like number 12 of this UFC fight night, we get Zachary Reese versus Jackson McVeigh. I do not remember who Reese was supposed to fight on this one, but Jackson McVeigh takes it in less than a week's notice, so that's good to see. It's a catchweight bout. Zachary Reese is a negative 300 favorite, whereas Jackson McVeigh is a plus 240 underdog. I really kind of want to go Jackson. Not because I actually think he's going to win. I just like the odds. I like that plus 240. So once I started seeing that, I'm like, yeah, Zachary Reese probably going to win. And then looking at who Zach's beaten and who Zach has fought, and McVeigh is a very, very good at up-and-comer, and he got his first L in his last fight in his UFC debut. But he still looks good. I think it's a little bit closer fight than what the odds makers make it, but Zachary Reese gets his hand raised 3 out of 5 on the confidence level that he can get his hand raised. Match like number 11 is a bantamweight bout between Miles John and Daniel Marcos. Marcos is a negative 185 favorite, whereas Miles John is a plus 155 underdog. Look, Miles John is a great fighter, but he's got a bad gas tank. He just stretches himself way too thin after the first round and just doesn't bring the fight after the first round. Daniel Marcos is not a guy you want to do that to. He can submit you, he can knock you out, and he's a good fighter. So I'm picking Daniel with a negative 185 favorite, 1 out of 5 on the confidence level that he can get his hand raised. Match like number 10 is a strawweight female fight between Tisha, the tiny tornado Pennington, and Denise Gomes. Now, Denise Gomes is a negative 175 favorite. The tiny tornado, she's a plus 145 underdog. Tisha's a good fighter. Only thing is just against these top tier opponents, she just doesn't seem to have it. Denise might be an up and coming prospect, but I think she's a top tier contender in the strawweight division. She's got the skill set to do it, the hands to do it. It's going to be a good fight on Saturday. I think Denise gets it done though with 3 out of 5 on the confidence level. She can get her hand raised. All right. Matchup number 9 is a heavyweight bout. This is a bout I'm going to tell you right before this. Do not bet this bout, guys. I don't know much about either of these fighters. We got Jackson Holick versus Max Jimenez. Now, Jimenez is a plus 300 underdog, whereas Josh is a negative 400 favorite. I picked Josh as a 400 favorite, but this is a coin toss-up. I don't know who's going to win this fight. I don't know almost anything about these guys. Even looking up their previous fights, I just did not learn enough to put any money down, so I would not bet this fight, guys. Match like number 8 is a bantamweight female fight. We get Mayo Benasilva versus Jacqueline Calvin Ketty. Calvin Ketty is a negative 260 favorite, whereas Mayo Benasilva is a plus 210 underdog. I loved Mayo Benasilva's run before she got to the title shot. Since the title shot, she's 1-3. It's not looked good. She's fought top tier competitors, so that's the only thing holding her to the roster. As a competitor, she fought, and all of them are top 5, top 6 losses. So it's a good fight. Calvin Ketty gets tested. Mayo Benasilva gets a shot to get back in there. I'm going Jacqueline Calvin Ketty with the negative 260 favorite, but I'm not confident on it. Only 1 out of 5 on the confidence level. She can get her hand raised. That is a pure risk, guys. So if you throw that on a parlay, just know that's a risky one to put on that parlay. All right, featured prelim bout of the evening, bantamweight male division fight, Ricky Simone versus Renoli Barcelos. Now, Barcelos is a plus 145 underdog, Ricky Simone negative 175. Barcelos has got a really good grappling defense, and he's a very well-rounded fighter. Ricky Simone lacks in the striking crispness, but the guy can grapple, and he can haymaker, crazy strikes, so he's got power. So Barcelos is going to have to watch out for that. I think the grappling is going to be too much for Barcelos. I think Ricky Simone beats him and just wears him down in the 3 rounds. It's probably going to go to decision, so I pick a decision win for Ricky Simone to get better odds, but I like the 175 too. 1 out of 5, though, on the confidence level. He can get his hand raised. I almost made the rookie mistake and didn't get any water, guys, just like that one time. You ever do a podcast and sitting there talking, make sure you got water. Don't make the rookie mistake. But that was a good little hold up because we're jumping to the main card here. Featherweight bout for match leg number 6. Hyder Emil versus Jamal Emmers. Hyder's a negative 150 favorite, whereas Jamal is a plus 125 underdog. Emil's coming off of his first loss at period. It was in the UFC against a good fighter, so I would not dog him on that. Jamal Emmers has fought good dudes. He's shown that he's got the skill set in there. He just comes up short a little bit in some of his fights. I really like Jamal's power. I'm not a big fan of the way Emil fights with his defense. He's got bad defense against striking, but he ends up winning fights because of his grappling. He times it right. It's not going to be a good case against Jamal Emmers. I think Jamal Emmers gets his hand raised. I think Jamal gets a big win. I think Jamal gets a knockout. But I'm not very confident on it. There's a lot of fights on here I'm not confident on, guys. A lot of close fights. So the matchmakers did a good job, you can tell. But Jamal Emmers, 1 out of 5 on the confidence level. He can get his hand raised with that plus 125. Match leg number 5 is a firefight. Middleweight bout. It's a banger. Do not miss match leg number 5. Christian Leroy Duncan going for his 3rd win of the year. And Marco Tulio, who is just got power in those hands, and people do not respect it. Christian Leroy Duncan is a good striker too. They're both well-rounded fighters. The difference here is going to be the power, I think, in Christian Leroy Duncan. I don't think Marco Tulio is going to respect him enough, and I think if Duncan can get a convincing win, it's going to be right away in the first round because Marco's not going to respect him, and it's just going to be bad. You got to respect it. Most of these fighters in the middleweight division, they just have power behind their hands. And I think Leroy Duncan with that plus 145 is looking great. Marco Tulio, negative 175. I'm going Christian Leroy Duncan, but only 1 out of 5 again on the confidence level because it's a good fight, very close fight, banger fight. Do not miss it. Match leg number 4 is another do not miss fight. Don't know which way this is going to go. It's almost a pick, and we got Chris Padilla versus Ishmael Bonfim, the other Bonfim brother. Chris is a plus 105 underdog, whereas Ishmael is a negative 125 favorite. I'm going Ishmael here, but you could flip the coin almost. My difference is Ishmael's, I just think, a little bit more well-rounded, and I mean by a little bit. It's a good fight. Don't miss that fight. 3 out of 5, though, on the confidence level that Ishmael can get his hand raised. If you don't know much about my confidence level thing, if it's a 3 or higher, I typically bet it. Anything below, it's pure risk. Just how I label all my fights. Matchup number 3 is another good fight. Muslim Salikov versus Uros Medic. Medic is a negative 150 favorite, whereas Muslim is a plus 125 underdog. Look, Salikov has got some crazy power. Nobody gives him his due. Uros better give him his due, especially getting knocked out in his first fight back in a long time. His last fight, he's going to be bringing it, but I do not think this is a good matchup for him. I think Salikov knocks him out and knocks him out badly. Salikov with that plus 125 I'm taking for the W, and 3 out of 5 on the confidence level. If you want even better odds, pick Salikov to get a finish over this guy. It's a good odds to put some money on. All right, co-main event of the evening is a flyweight bout. I almost didn't mark it, but I know these guys are flyweight. We get Matt Schnell versus Joseph Morales. Joseph Morales is a negative 450 favorite. Matt Schnell plus 325 underdog. Yes, Matt Schnell's weakness has been grapplers. He has not been able to get up off his back like he used to. A lot of people are going to accommodate that, the old age. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say it's age. I think it is. It's just those guys that he's fought are that good on the ground, and he's just not that good on his back. Now, here's where it's different. Joseph Morales is a young fighter in the UFC, has not fought a guy like Matt Schnell. Matt Schnell's got some crazy power in those hands. Yes, he retired a couple fights ago, and then came back. He was just on a very frustrating run, and now he's starting to get back in the groove. I'm picking Matt Schnell here with this plus 325. Yes, you're going to call me crazy to pick a fighter that's 3-1 dog, okay? But Joseph has not fought a guy like this with an experience level that Matt Schnell has in those hands, man. Those hands are going to be the difference maker. I think Matt Schnell knocks out Joseph Morales in that co-main event and gets his name back in there and gets people to respect him again. All right, we're here at the main event. Super, super happy for this. Gabriel Bonfim versus Randy Brown. Randy Brown plus 135 underdog. Gabriel Bonfim negative 160 favorite. Now, Gabriel is a great fighter. He's super well-rounded. Randy Brown, not so well-rounded. He's got good grappling defense, but not grade A. He's not going to sit there and come forward and take you down the whole time. He might attempt takedowns, but it's to mix it up so that he can knock you out. He's going for a knockout. The problem here for Randy Brown is gas tank, and Gabriel Bonfim's got that way ahead of him. So when Gabriel's going to be grappling and mixing up the striking in there, his gas tank's not going to fail him. Randy's could. That's why I'm going to pick Gabriel Bonfim. 3 out of 5 on the comp league in his hand raised. It's going to be a good fight, though. I'm glad they picked this as a main event. I don't like it at the UFC Apex, unfortunately. But the UFC Apex is getting a remodel next year that's going to have fans. It's going to be an actual arena, which will be awesome. All right, guys. Shout out to Right Way Production Studios for always making this happen. Philly Fly Show's been on a tear. We're going to keep tearing it up, and we're going to keep coming to you next week. Big pay-per-view at MSG. Jack Maladalena versus Islam Makhachev. Fire fight. Cannot wait for it. We'll see you next week for this big pay-per-view. Peace the bleep out, y'all.